Hello guys, and welcome back to a game of Netrunner from the regional tournament at Covenant, Tulsa. My name is Steven.
And I'm Tim.
Hello Tim, what do you think about these players here? Give us the rundown.
I think that these are two very strong players.
Extremely strong players.
You got the Shovel, who is well known for being able to dig himself out of some sticky situations.
Absolutely.
You got Sam Suied, who has created some very intriguing and interesting decks that are very strong and powerful.
Absolutely. Important to note, he's really the seed behind the Anatomy deck. Without a doubt. I mean, this is a guy that was thinking about it. And now he's doing the same with Headlock Reina.
Yeah, he's an innovator.
He's a genius, man. He's a deck-building genius, without a doubt. And here we have Sasha, who is just like an efficient robot. That's what Sasha is.
Speaking of creative deck building, I see an Andromeda there with a Desperado and a Data Sucker. Security testing.
Sasha is so great. He's such a fundamental player. He's honestly, there's a lot of people to watch in this scene, in the Netrunner scene. I watch Sam's deck building. I look for what he's up to, what kind of decks are going on, because it's always fascinating and really experimental, interesting, but successful most of the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas Sasha is so consistent. I think he's been running Andy and HP Engineering the Future since the beginning of time.
Since he was born, I think.
And the only time those decks change is if they absolutely have to. Otherwise, you're going to get the same show. And the beauty of that is that you have a player who knows his decks so intimately well that, I mean, there's no disadvantages to be created by creative or skillful play. It's just like, sure. I know exactly my odds here, and I'm going to try to draw for it or do this other thing. So really cool to watch both these players face off. We have Sasha off to an actually excellent start. Got security testing in Desperado. He's got the Data Sucker. We finally see Katie, which is actually a critical piece, I think, in the replicating matchup. Helps you to get over those big taxing runs. And then we have Sam on the flip, who has a bit of a reverse structure on his game setup here. We have Archives at the top of the screen, protected by a Viper, an awesome piece of ice that is getting a lot more play now that code gates are kind of the hip thing to be running. Not really a great answer because Yogg has fallen a bit out of favor. Barriers were answered pretty well by Lady, so they kind of have gone out of the meta a little bit. And then Sentries really replicating, kind of getting off of the Sentry train.
Switchblade really hurt them a lot.
Switchblade, the Stealth Breakers really hurt them, so Kamainu's
people are going away from again.
It's a dance.
It's like dance.
It's like we're at a ball. It may as well be Pride and Prejudice in here. But the other side of that is that at this point, certainly in this tournament, code gates are where it's at. Because a lot of people go into Gordian. And now let's be real, Gordian is just a corroder in a better disguise. I mean, sure, you have that text. Disguise. You have the text of like, oh yes, but it maintains its strength. The relevance of that
is nothing.
Sometimes
ultimately.
Is there, but most of the time is not, and the Corp can control those circumstances very well. So we're in a great place in the game, and these are as close to, I would say, rivals as you get in Netrunner, and not in the negative way, but in the very positive, like, to like the old
Rocky
wrestling
and
matches.
Apollo Creed.
Exactly.
They wanted to beat each other up.
Yeah,
but
there was it was from a mutual sense of respect.
They were willing to hug each other at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Sam draws into his Caprice there. It's never a bad thing to see there.
That's very true. Double Archives.
Installs more business over Archives.
Is it a Crick, you think?
I don't know. I know that Crick is the jam. Right now, like, Viper is doing a fine job of protecting Archives from what I can only assume is security testing Data Sucker stuff. So really Sam just trying to turn that money off, I think, which is going to be hard for RP because, like you see here, you have remotes that are going to be popping out throughout the game. So it's really hard to turn security testing off.
The beautiful thing about it, though, is you have to make them run Essential first.
Yes.
So they're going to hit a piece of ice.
It is true. And
if you will.
Data Sucker is a central loving thing. It doesn't care about these remotes. So
CLT, man. Central loving thing.
Just locking it off here, and this is what RP does. Sasha not really having the breakers at this point to threaten the face check. This is another thing that replicating does so well is you never know when that Tsurugi is coming. You never know if there's a rogue Kamainu in the deck. Even just some of this other weird, bizarre ice Cortex locks now showing up. So right now, like, you just can't eat a Cortex lock. You've got to wait and get your Sentry Breaker or Fairy out. So Sasha's going to have to put on the brakes a little bit here, draw into his breakers, and start playing some Netrunner.
Yeah, based on every game I've ever seen Sasha play, he's going to dig for his tutors, and he's going to dig for his breakers, and he's going to get a rig up and going as quick as possible.
Yeah, and he's not even going to... I mean, and the good thing about replicating is that ultimately it lets you do that.
Yep. Special order.
You've got tons of time.
Yeah, it's not fast.
Here comes the
in
Mimic,
any
surely,
sense of the
right?
word. I would assume it's Mimic. Yeah.
We did it.
How about those Anarch Breakers?
Yeah. Anarch's gift to the world.
It's a good thing that there's not a way to consistently give them +1 strength per round or anything like that.
Yeah, man, net ready eyes coming down the pipe. That's going to be a really interesting time for the Anarch Breakers, especially for Shapers and Criminals. I mean, I don't know if Criminal has the influence to splash the Breakers and the net ready. They'd have to kind of do it over an R&D interface, which would be a bummer. And security testing staying on that remote. Sasha gaining some credits.
He likes his credits.
He does. He's gaining them the hard way. Stacking them up. Big old rectangles. Mental health clinic. There we go.
Big old rectangles. How about mental health clinic just being everything that RP wants and nothing what PE wants?
All right, so Sam with an explosive turn for replicating here. Installs a new server.
That's a Sunday that's online.
Installs 2 things in it, and then, yeah, it's a Sunday that's online. So you can imagine that's a Caprice down there. Or even an Ash, but probably a Caprice. And this is going to sit in the scoring server for a while until Sam thinks he's ready to score that first Nisei.
Pup.
And a little pup on R&D.
Poop.
And this is going to be a great turn for Sasha. He's accessing, and Sasha now saying, wait, this is your R&D? Which you have to question mark. That is where all of the cards are sitting. I think that's a fair assumption, right?
That is fair.
Right? I mean, it's obviously not archives, right?
It's not archives. It's not HQ, because there's no ID there.
Right.
But it is where HQ would normally be.
It is. I mean, it's fair. It's fair. Been a late day. But like I said, this is a great situation for Sasha. He now basically is paying 1 to get a data sucker token and access. So you can't fault him for that.
I will pay 1 all day for R&D access.
Yeah.
All day.
And now he's got to probably go. I don't know. Does he check this sundew? That's a good question, Tim.
I think he either checks the sundew or he runs security testing.
Yeah, maybe both.
He's only got 1 click left, right?
Oh, well, according to his click trackers, he got 2.
Oh.
But what good are click trackers for some of us? I think Sasha's pretty solid with them.
He tries, that's for sure.
Dirty Laundry is the old security testing server. Man.
Talking about some efficiency.
God, it's so good. It's just money. You were right, Tim.
Boom. Called it.
Welcome to the mind. The oldest click tracker of all.
It's been clacking tricks
since the Dark Ages. Yeah, since the Dark Ages. All right, Sunday money comes in. We see another piece of ice go up over R&D.
Up and over.
Security testing staying on that mental health clinic. And you've got to ask the question, as Sam, is it worth 1 credit a turn to potentially put Sasha online for more than that? 3 with Desperado. Do you establish servers without ice in this matchup?
I think that you don't.
There's another pup.
I mean, you do it on 1 server, and then you just leave it.
There's an APD.
Napped.
What are you talking about, Tim? You do on 1 server and then you leave it?
Well, then you leave all the other ones blank. That's what I mean.
Oh, right.
So you should have 1 win server.
So you're saying it's fine to have naked remotes out there?
It's just a fact of life.
You know, as they say, remotes will be naked from time to time.
I mean, you're not going to not run Sundew, or you're not going to run Mental Health Clinic.
There's the inside job. We do still have an approach window there, so Caprice can be rezzed. And now we got a side game. Tough to throw an inside job at that.
I know that you know that he knows they're going to bid 2.
Yeah, there you go. That's the best that Sasha could go. You know, that's just really good. That may be the game right there. That like not the death knell of the game, but that's a huge point right there.
It's definitely a big turning point right there.
When you're playing this matchup so much, like getting that just now is huge, man.
Yeah.
Like that's huge for Sasha. It's easy to overlook just kind of like, he kind of won the side game and did that stuff and trashed it. But like his chance of winning probably went up like 25%.
That's true. He got rid of the Caprice from the server, which is huge. But the most important thing is he turned off a large portion of economy.
big portion, especially with Sam being at 5 credits, now clicking for the 6th. If Sasha can stay on top of this game, then he doesn't have to worry too much about Ash. He doesn't have to worry too much about Caprice, really, if he can get Sam low enough. And he's having to keep rezzing ice, so... And there's another example of that. There's the Eli for 3.
How about Eli? Just every card to say, how about that card?
How about it? Yeah, it's an important card for this game. Just a critical piece of this corp puzzle right now. Wow, look at that. So I think he runs security testing and then runs back in and trashes it, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So now Sasha sees an opening here. He sees a 3-credit opening. And he rezzes the Sundew and gets 2 back immediately. So he's saying, man, you're on 3 credits. I don't want you to have any economy, even sacrifice my own security testing to do that. And I think that's interesting for players watching to recognize that sometimes the plan does change. You would kind of think, well, I want this open for security testing. But at the same time, man, like you're just cutting a significant part of his economy out. He probably has enough money left to res an Eli over there on that remote. That would be my guess, is that he's banking on that.
Or he could just be banking on a Caprice there.
Yeah, you could just wait for him to come down and then Caprice it. But, like, you can't pay... What? You can't pay to res Caprice and then defend it with 3 credits in your pool.
Right. But he can for 1 run. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's so hard to... Like, I've been thinking about the side game
He could also just be bluffing that he has an Eli or something.
What do you think? What do you think's down in that server right there? Is that another
I think it's
Caprice?
I don't know that. I watched this game live, but I don't remember.
I mean, there's a very limited number of options. But sometimes Sam brings
Hokusai,
these...
maybe?
Sometimes Sam brings these weird decks that have stuff like that. It's just like the random Hokusai, and you're like, lose a card. Do I trash it? No, I don't think so.
Yes, you do. Is the real answer. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably a Caprice. I could see an argument be made for Ash, but...
Well, he gets away with it. He gets out of this turn without having to spend any money.
Shadow Remains I just saw? Surely not.
You know it is. No, it is. You know it is. This is Sam. This is Sam, man. That's what I'm saying. He's probably going to try to nuke a Desperado or something.
That's how... If that is
I mean, because every RP deck is install advance. Oh, it's an Nisa. I've got to go get it. And then it's like, and you lost your console. I think that's clever.
That's pretty hilarious if that is actually what he's doing.
It's very clever, man. Very clever.
Clever girl.
Clever versus effective. Those are really the two things you got to balance.
That's
during
the name of
deck
this
building.
match.
Yeah. There goes the legwork. Is he clicking that Eli?
Yeah, he is.
What if it's another Eli?
Well,
he's willing to take the chance. And there's another pup. So now 3 accesses.
How many agendas do you think he's going to score here?
Well, there's a Nisa. We know there's a Nisa in hand from the very first celebrity gift.
Right.
We've seen that. We haven't seen a Jackson come through. So his odds of getting that Nisa Mark II are very good. And that's going to be critical. Oh, no. Trash it. Trash it.
He's trashing it.
Yeah, he's trashing it.
You don't let him keep that.
Well, he's got an interns in hand, so it's kind of a... Oh, and he misses the Nisei.
But he hits the future perfect.
I mean, nobody wants to hit the future perfect, though.
I mean, it's better than hitting...
What do you go here?
I think that Sam goes 1. I think Sasha goes 0.
Wow. Well, you did it. Having not fast-forwarded or rewound this game at all to make Tim look like an oracle.
I've played a lot of side games.
It's just, the side game is such a fascinating thing because the runner guessing 2 is just such a bad... Even whenever you know the corp's going to, it's like, if I guess 2 and the corp guesses 0 or 1, I've lost so hard because I've not only missed whatever my objective was, but I lost all this money. And so you just kind of can't go 2 as the runner, but then, of course, you do, and then you win.
Yeah, no, I agree, definitely. It's so hard to go 2. For probably the first 80 side games I ever played, I never bid 2.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait.
The corp knows that I have never bid 2, so...
To be honest with you, the first 80, probably 70 of them were 0.
Yeah, I know, exactly. It's like, I don't want this trash. I want a sure thing. That's why a lot of us have trouble with the side game, because we're used to Netrunner being a game of calculation, risk, assessment, those kinds of things. And
But I mean, that's really what a side game is.
You're right.
It's a
You're
meta
right.
game. It's a game within the game.
it's more on the scale than a lot of people are willing to deal with.
Yeah.
It stacks the scale a little bit heavier on one side of the risk. And that means
squeaky
that
clean.
there is nothing but Nisei Mark IIs in the archives, and this is why you run one Hades shard. I swear to you. The number of
You
times
just played it
the
right
number
now.
of times you drop 7 on a Hades shard and pop it immediately and just win games. It's absurd. Not that I ever find room for it, but I should. I mean, this is why I look at it. We should do this.
How stinking good is Sundew?
It's a great card.
It's so good.
Remember when that card first came out and it was like, this is pretty good. Pretty okay in personal evolution and whatnot. And it's like, oh, replicating. You found the tools you needed.
It is just a replicating card through and through.
Through and through. Where's this security testing going? You don't really want it on the Jackson. You don't. We're going to put it there. Yeah, it's just kind of, basically that's where you put it whenever it doesn't matter where it goes. Because that Jackson's going to disappear in a heartbeat.
I would almost put it on either HQ or R&D. Just so I can hit whichever one I don't put it on and then run the Jackson. And not have to run the Jackson again.
That is true. You give Sam a chance to not pop here because you're not going to access. But I would still almost pop just to deny 3 credits.
It's a tough choice. But like Sasha either knows he's either having to waste an extra click to get the Jackson or he's going to lose 3 money.
There's a run on R&D and there is...
HQ.
Yeah, sorry. There's the run on HQ, and it is a good one because the toll booth is here. And talk about a piece of ice that stock has just risen through the roof. Saw so many toll booths, I didn't know what to do with myself during this
It
tournament.
never really went anywhere, let's be real.
It never did, but you had all these FIMs running around for a while, and I guess you still technically should, but I haven't really seen a FIM on the board in a Coon's Age.
Coon's Age.
Yeah, it's been
12
a while.
years.
1 sub, 5 strength piece of ice. FIM handles it really well, but... We're going into the scoring survey
It wasn't
here.
Eli.
We saw the Eli. He wasn't bluffing.
Another toll booth in his hand.
A lot of ice here, man. Look at all this ice that's rezzed, and Jackson continues to draw cards, continues to curate this hand of Sam's. Can't get too frisky and leave more than a couple of agendas in the archives there, or he might overload himself, which does happen. Less so to replicating. I think it's almost impossible to draw more agendas than you can deal with Jackson, but...
Another thing to remember is that Crick exists.
Security
so
testing
Archives
going...
is a fairly safe place.
That is true. Security testing going off the screen there to another remote. Both these players drawn, setting up. There's a fairy. Not really what was needed. Gotta be honest.
Resident Mental Health Clinic?
Yeah, Resident Mental Health Clinic. That's the one that's off... no, that's the one that's on screen. I don't know what the off-screen one is.
Who
Probably
knows?
still face down.
Who knows?
We can certainly list a number of trashy assets that replicating runs.
Daily Business
we
Show?
would know if it was Daily Business Show. I think we would know if it were
Mental Health Clinic.
Mental Health Clinic. Maybe
he might have res too.
Maybe an unres Jackson.
Could be an unrest Jackson. That's fair, especially if he's been dumping agendas for a while now.
And he has been doing that. Look at him. This is just a long game, man. These towers are getting towery.
Steve, I have a personal question for you.
Okay.
That Eli that's on the scoring remote,
Yes.
does it bother you that it's upside down?
Yes.
Okay. Making sure I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I know. Sam is just playing. He's playing Funhouse mode here. He's got his cards all crazy. It's to get in Sasha's head because
got a rig.
I'm sure that it's bothering Sasha as well. Probably good tech.
It's all calculated.
There's the Corroder, but hey, we don't have a Gordian, do we?
We don't have a Gordian.
Which means
You can't have it.
there's a lot of things that we can't get through right now.
It's definitely not where you want to be on turn 36.
I would certainly expect that Lotus Field is on the scoring remote, but I would also expect that knowing this and seeing this opening, Sam may want to try to push an agenda here. He dumped his Nisei Mark IIs, though, so we've got a problem. I don't want to score an NAPD here.
It's the classic conundrum.
Yes, it's a replicating.
I don't want the agendas in my hand because then they can be stolen, but I need them in my hand to score them.
Yes. Netrunner is a game of balance, and a security testing comes online. That means we're going to have 2 on the board. Sasha does enjoy that, and
he's a fan of the double testing.
An important thing that I think players might want to know, you guys out there, that talking to Sasha after this tournament, he said that he was not prepared for how big of a deal Crick was. Really shut down the Andy Sucker standard ability to hit archives for fairly cheap through a pup or something like that. There's the Gordian Blade. Full rig is up. Now it's just money and decisions. So Crick was a huge factor for this deck, and he still made it, of course, but was surprised throughout the day how hard it was to get sucker counters and to get security testing.
And I mean, have you played against Crick very much?
Yes, it's so
significantly
annoying.
It is very obnoxious.
I just run through it until they have nothing left to install, and then I don't care anymore.
That seems bad. That seems like the wrong move. Seems really wrong.
Don't do it. Don't do that. But you're not going to break a 6-strength code gate.
Well, yeah, you are actually.
Yeah, if you got to.
It's not ideal.
I mean, look at Gordian. What?
5?
I'm gonna pay 5 to get through a Crick.
You paid 1 cost
for. I mean, it's like it makes Eli look expensive for the corp.
And that's why it's so good.
So good. Hey, there it is over on R&D. So it's only gonna be a 3 strength, which actually okay now that Yogg's not really that big of a deal. So it pays 2 for the Crick, and then probably pays 4 to get through all these pups. Sasha's gonna think about this. Oh, he's like, ooh. Whoa. Yep, so he pays it all.
Yep, that's fair.
Sees a single card off of R&D. Runs the off-screen security testing, and then runs the on-screen security testing. So now we have, I mean, that's 6 credits, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nuts.
It is.
I'm sometimes so jelly of this.
You can run it.
I can. You're right. All right, now, look at those Mark IIs. He interns in the Mark II.
That's fair.
Sasha on 14 with full breakers. He's going to have to own this Caprice game. That's what's going to have to happen here.
That's the secret here.
Yeah.
This is his only chance of scoring this agenda, I think.
But it's a great chance still. Even to this day. Full rig, everything fully set up, and still probably still odds are on Sam keeping this agenda safe.
It's probably true. I don't know what the other ice is, but...
Lotus Field's in there.
Now, if this is an Ash, it's so bad.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's Caprice, though. He's not even going. He's not even checking.
I've been that.
Yeah, Sasha knows. I mean, Sasha knows this game. I've got to focus on. I mean, R&D ultimately right now is pretty.
Crick and Archives.
There's Crick for 6 strength.
I don't want to say I called it, but.
What do you do? I mean, what do you do? You mean you call on the ice that says +3 strength on Archives on Archive? Do you break this?
Yeah, you do. You have to get in Archives right now. You don't have to, but it's just huge right now to be able to do that. Especially whenever it's double code.
Dude, Sasha making this play, this is literally this is a knife twisting in his gut right now to pay that much for Crick.
Yeah, at least it is double code gates.
And then Gordian, we said it earlier, but it actually is quite relevant here. Keeps its strength for that Viper, so there's only 2 more to break. And we're going to get interns and a couple of face downs, which I think there was at least one Nisei Mark II. Maybe a Future Perfect. That obviously a Future Perfect, I would say, that Sasha missed on earlier. And that's going to give Sam an agenda here, and I think he's going to score the Mark II. That could be a real. That's it. This game just got super hard.
It's like, you know how the video games have like the normal mode and then like the heroic mode after you beat the game once?
Yeah, exactly.
This is heroic mode now.
It is. But if anyone can do it, it's our friend the Shovel.
The Shovel.
This is when you start digging, because the game is not going to get any better from this point on.
It's true.
Sure gamble. And 3 on Katie. Sasha just kind of having to take time here. I'm sure he wishes that it were faster. And Celebrity Gift shows Lotus Field, Tsurugi, NAPD, Hedge Fund, and a toll booth.
Talk about a bummer hand.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to do that.
It makes R&D look better. And R&D is actually the most porous server right now. So in interface, a maker's eye, Sasha's on interfaces, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's exactly what he's digging for right now. You can actually feel it in his play that he is digging for a R&D interface.
I mean, you can't pay 6 money for 1 access.
No.
Unless you have to. But
well, there you go. That makes it easier. The crazy thing is that Sam is back to like 23 credits. Like out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like he was scoring agendas and got to 23 credits. Celebrity Gift, just a killer card for Jinteki. Snacksess is a Jackson there.
Yeah, I think that you have to leave that there.
This Jackson is gone. So this outside is going to be...
Outside, he goes and reses Jackson and puts, looks like 3 more back in. So that's going to kill that security testing.
Now, I think he ran the other security testing.
Yeah, and he finished it off with the last one.
I think I might have gone back into R&D after he shuffles.
That's not a bad call. I don't think Sasha even wants to touch R&D unless he has the R&D interface out.
I understand that.
He's set in his... And it makes sense because you can't have single accesses against RP and expect to actually win the game.
I understand.
We both understand, but we also understand we have to do it.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a good deck, because you can't... Nothing is great with it. Like, it just is...
Stall, advance, Steven.
It's beating you.
Stall, advance. He's got another agenda.
It's another agenda. You got to come through R&D, and then you've got to threaten it and get stopped after you win the Caprice game. Then you've got to threaten it again. Oh, it's just talking about it makes me thirsty.
So, take Katie, run R&D, run the remote twice. Hope that you win the game.
Giggle. Thanks for replicating. You just do what you do so well.
They definitely replicated perfection. They did it.
We're just tearing down a Shattered Remains server right here is what we're looking at here. Peekaboo.
It's a Ghost Branch.
Boy, Sasha's really got to think this one over because there are no good lines. There are better than other lines, but there are no good lines. You know what I mean? You know that situation?
I live in that.
This is my life. I'll tell you what, Yogg is way, way, way good. With Net Ready especially.
Yeah.
But just in general, it's... Yogg is a rotating piece. It's like I don't know. It's like one of those little things with the metal balls, and you hit one on the other end, and then it hits the one on the far end.
The pendulum thing.
Goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, pendulum, I guess you could say. It's swinging like a pendulum. But once Yogg goes out, little code gates are awesome. And then Yogg comes back in, and then
get crappy again.
they go away, and then you don't need Yogg anymore. It just goes like that forever.
It's a very interesting...
It's a dance.
It's like a ball.
I mean, the good news is that Yogg is about 3 influence, so it's
Wait.
no big deal. Just kidding.
That was a joke.
We see a Caprice. That's great. It's at least maybe one more out of the deck. We do know there's a Jackson in hand. We see the inside job on the remote. Going to res the Enigma. It gets skipped. We then encounter the Eli. And unfortunately now have to actually pay money for the Eli. He's got to pay 4 credits. Continues the run. He sees another Eli, and it's just, this is awful. This is so awful. You may as well just jack out. You can't pay 4 and then win a Caprice game. It's crazy. Now, he would have to res Caprice, right?
He could lower... Yeah, he'd have to res Caprice right now.
That's a res Caprice right now. So maybe it's an Ash. We know it's an Ash.
That being said, Sasha could lower the Eli by 1 with the data circuit, pay 3.
Yeah.
Then have
Still
2
play
for
the game. You're so right. And you got... Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's good business.
It's so frustrating. He's just going to end the run.
He's just going to end the run or let you see an Ash that you then cannot trash.
He's going to let him pay for and then just end the run.
We feel for you, runners.
Just bouncing.
Bounces and then security tests over.
Now, is it a future perfect or another Nise?
That's an NAPD. Ooh. That would have been even worse than we thought.
And last click will be
He wouldn't have had to use a token at all.
And
And
I
then
think Sam knew that.
just gains a credit. Yeah, so now we're on 4 points. Install Advanced has to be honored. You can fake the Nisei Mark IIs. It doesn't much matter. Even the NAPDs, you can try to break Sasha getting over there, and then just a 2-pointer, no big deal. This game is just so strongly in Sam's favor right now. It's one of those games, and Sasha kind of understands and knows this, I think.
Yeah. I mean, this game has been textbook RP, I think.
Absolutely.
You score the agendas in the order you wanted them. You have the server that you want.
install advanced.
Install Advance, and Advance twice. So now you got to wonder, was that a weird, like, bluffy kind of play? Because that was like, advance, and then I may as well just spend it to advance again. So is Sam just playing with our heads here? Is that a 3-pointer? I don't think it's a
I don't
3-pointer. I don't think that was... no. I think that's like an NAPD or a Mark II, and it's like, I have nothing else to do with this last click. I got 15 money. May as well just advance
What about
it.
the fetal?
I would not put it past Sam to be running the fetal here.
There were several people running fetals.
Yeah, actually, RP standard kind of.
There's the interface.
And he's going to hit R&D and hope that that's a 2-pointer. Steals the Mark II and kills the last Caprice. And that is not a 3-pointer. I think we just heard it.
So this game is anybody's game, ultimately.
Kind of. No, it is not anybody's game. This game is so over. I mean, I guess the weird thing is, like, Sam now has to think about using counters to stop R&D runs until he gets an
Right.
agenda down.
And there's no way to know that.
And so he just throws some more ice in front of it. Yeah, this actually gets a little bit interesting for me.
Because he's going to have to use those on R&D runs.
Yeah,
Because if Sasha finds...
but all that's left at this point, what is NAPDs and future perfects.
And maybe fetals.
And maybe fetals. And Sasha's on 4 points.
But if he hits the future perfect...
Yeah. This is getting juicy. I actually retract whatever sandbagging I was talking about earlier. This has gotten very, very
it's
interesting.
very close, I think.
Very interesting. What is Sasha going to do here? See, the thing is, like, we kind of joke about this nickname, but it always pans out.
No, he is a shovel.
I was
I'm
talking
going to
to
get him a shovel for his birthday.
I was talking to Bernie McKenna one time. He's a really good spoils player back when we were into that. And there goes the fairy for the Sarugi. And I'll get to this story later maybe. This is too intense.
Before you gain the credit, you sucker.
So Sam is going to end the run at the end of the whole thing. And then we have security testing. Getting some money back. Man, tough. Tough.
I'm so scared.
What a standoff, man. It's silent in that room. The audio tells all. This is the grudge match that we've been looking for.
Okay.
Another fairy. Do we go back in? Force the last token? 3 to Katie.
He's waiting turn.
Now, if Sam installs here, he's not... I don't know. Hedge fund? Install advance.
Okay.
He threatened. Sasha has a lot to say about that. Oh, these guys, man. I love these guys. If that's a Shattered Remains, I'm going to stand on this chair and shout.
That's not very safe.
And I understand. That's kind of the point.
Oh.
I'm that excited that I'm willing to take a chance with my own health. All right, so Sasha now is going to go into hard math mode. This may take a bit.
Can we agree that this remote is off limits?
I can't agree. Yeah, I can. The money's not there. You're right. Money's not there. And honestly, I don't know. I wonder if hitting Katie that... I can't say... I keep saying that. I need to stop saying that. I wonder if storing 3 on Katie is ultimately right there. last turn. I guess you have to hope that he doesn't have the agenda in hand, because now he's got to take it off there.
One take, Katie. I imagine what's going to happen here is he's going to go in R&D. Sam is going to end it, and he's going to go back in for one more access.
And he's probably going to take, 4 pup damage, let him install something for Crick, yeah.
6. Yep. Before you gain the credit. Yep. 3 is testing.
And the run was ended. 3 is testing.
So again, let's see. This is 6. So let's put that
4, he's going to go back into R&D here. And may decide to take some damage in case of
Do you want me to just flip it?
monies.
Not yet. Because you're probably going to have to damage me here.
This is so intense right now.
Yeah, I think he's just going to take the Sarugi. I mean, there's...
Yeah, you have to pay to break the 3. So at least 1.
How many cards does Sasha have in his hand?
There's only NAPDs
I
and
think 4. And he's got to honor the fetal.
you gotta have at least 2 to play the side game. There's a fetal who look like an idiot dead.
Just as beautiful as you can ask for a conclusion to this game. 2 incredible players here. Sasha looking at the hand.
So that's
This is so intense right now.
Crazy. If you can feel the tension here. You can feel it. Hearing them talk back and forth a little bit.
so I'll just do that and you'll just 3 brain.
All right, here comes 3
Take him
damage.
3.
So I'll pay 1.
Doesn't matter, just cards.
So he's going to end the run with 4
And then you have 4 credits?
credits.
No, I have all these credits. I just paid 1. Okay, well, I mean 4 credits once after I pay 6.
And he gains 1 for Desperado. He's on NAPD.
Oh!
There's the future perfect, and we have a side game for the end
All of
of this entire game. You cannot ask for a closer match than we have
Steven.
here. What do you do? What do you do?
2.
right?
Talk about being evenly matched, man.
We agonize now. It's just little.
This is literally Sam has the best chance of winning. 1-1.
Good lord.
You are kidding me.
The next card was
And
a
then
fetal.
the next card was the fetal.
Oh my god!
Everybody is freaking out. This is the most beautiful game ever created.
Oh, that's insane. That's insanity.
The yelling and screaming happening right now. That is how you judge a game right there.
Ah!
Oh,
Steven.
Tim, that was a wild ride. I was kind of feeling casual, and then all of a sudden I was really into that. Goodness gracious.
Woo.
Well, guys, there you have it. We're going to leave this board at basically just a pile of wreckage here. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Sam Suied versus Sasha Friedman.
The shovel.
And Sasha digs
Dug
out and
himself
moves
out.
on in the craziest way possible. Thank you guys for watching. We got more coming.
See you guys later.